Hello, I'm Marsha Lynn, photographer. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I've lived in Michigan most of my life. When I was a child, I always liked to explore things, and I used to spend hours looking at things. And so I think I was basically a photographer always, using the cameras I had, my eyes. So I got a digital camera in 2003. It was a little camera, 3 megapixels, and it was point and shoot, and it was so easy to carry, and it was just a wonderful thing. And I took that camera all over the world with me. And now I'm using a mirrorless camera, it's back to the original, a small camera, easy to carry. And I'm going to show you some of my favorite pictures. This is one of my early efforts using my Canon ELPH 3 megapixel. That's an actual panda bear living in his habitat from China. And I just loved watching him eat his lunch of all those bamboos. He could eat as much as he wanted. Nobody bothered him. Here was a photo I took on a photographer's workshop in Glacier National Park. And they told us to go to this place, be there at 4 a.m. and set up your camera. And I did. I got up 4 a.m. It was pitch black. And finally, this started lighting up. And it went from pitch black to this beautiful, beautiful sight. And I liked the way you had the flowers in the foreground and the reflection in the lake, and all of this is lit up. And a couple of seconds after this picture was shot, the whole thing was dark like this. This is the sunrise from where the sun is in the foreground. Turning the dials of my camera because the light kept getting brighter and brighter, and I was trying to make it darker. So in making it darker, I accidentally got this beautiful starburst, and it was wow. I was just thrilled that I captured this sunburst. And here was a case where the last rays of the sunrise were reflected in the water here, because water is a beautiful mirror, and it's always changing. Here's another one. This is an earlier part of the sunrise, but I have the silhouette of the fence against the sky, which I liked that. And I liked the way it had all these parallel lines going together, and also a little bit of tilt to the picture that gives it more interest. This one was taken with an infrared camera. It was during the pandemic, and I didn't have anything else to do, so I thought I would learn infrared photography. The light that we see is all the visible spectrum, but infrared captures the rays that you don't see. And I was watching the drops of water on these lily pads. And then all of a sudden, I noticed this snake. The snake crawled up on, and I thought, this is perfect, you know. And the infrared really got all of the details, every little detail. And this is a picture that was taken very late in the day. Actually, this picture was dark. When I took it, everything was black. And I really didn't know what I would get. But when I looked at it after editing, I saw it was late in the sunflower's life, but it was providing food for the birds. And here's a picture, and I call this one the last trillium of springtime. A trillium is a beautiful white flower, and they usually come up all at once. And it's a beautiful sight to see it in the early spring, because one day you'll go and there's nothing there, and the next day it's covered with flowers. And when trilliums age, they turn from white to pink. This picture was taken in a botanical garden also. They're giant lotus pads. And I liked the way they're arranged. You see, they're arranged sort of in a semicircle. And that is a good way to take a picture, because your eye follows the arrangement. Also, this was at another photography workshop, and I liked the way these kayaks picked up the orange and yellow from over here and repeated down here, and I liked the way they were arranged. Here was an abstract that I did. I couldn't even tell you how I did it, but actually I was dancing around with the camera. I was just moving it in different ways, and I wasn't focused. I just, you know, I saw what I wanted to take a picture of. And here is a lovely scene. This is what I love to do most, is to walk in the woods, because it's just peaceful and serene, and look at how the trees are all one direction. And then this one is sort of angled in right across from the trail, and it makes a nice main theme. This is one of my favorite pictures of all times. I was on the beach at Naples Pier, and I was taking all kinds of pictures, and I just happened to see this woman, but the way she had everything arranged, I don't know if she was an artist or what, but everything was coordinated. I couldn't get over it. The turquoise here and the pink and the black and white. I mean, it was just so perfectly arranged. And even her shoes, she had, you know, she had everything perfectly arranged for a picture, so like she was sitting for a picture. It's a one-time thing. When you see a picture, you gotta take it, because if you don't, it's gone. And I went back to the same beach. This was many years later. This was after the pandemic, or the tail end of the pandemic. But people were out there, they were just crazy to get the sun on the beach. And this gentleman was he was uncovered. He was going to get the sun. But I took it from a bridge, and what is he doing? He's not looking at the water or the beach. He's looking at, it turned out to be some kind of a puzzle he's doing. Oh, here was a picture I took. This was another workshop, and we went to this place, and it was late in the afternoon, very late, and it was almost dark. But I happened to notice that these piers were lit up. I mean, I just happened to turn, and I looked, and I saw the reflection, and I really didn't know what I had until I edited the picture, because it was pretty dark. And there's one thing about taking pictures. You think you have the best one, and when something will happen with your camera. Oh, I ran out of battery. I forgot to put a card in. I moved it. It's blurry. I ruined it. Whatever. And well, okay, but you would think that was the best picture. It's not. Another one is going to come along. Here's one. This is the same. I think it's the same pier. It looks like the same, but it was, I think it was a little bit earlier. And you can see that again, we have the autumn leaves turning. And I like the composition here, because you have the verticals in the foreground, and that sort of echoes the verticals of the trees. And then you also have the reflection of the trees. And this, I was taking a walk in a place that was very muddy, and I see this boot. It was like somebody put an art object right in the middle of this mud. And I thought, well, and there was nobody else around. There was nothing else around but this boot. But I took the picture because I knew it wasn't going to be there long. Maybe somebody lost it. I don't know. Or maybe they put it out there purposely so I would find it. And this is three crab baskets and a fisherman on a fishing boat. And I liked the way they're all similar, but they're different. Each one is different. I passed this fence all the time when I was going back and forth to this beach. And I noticed the fence, and it wasn't always like this, with this one falling down. And I never noticed this fence except certain times when the light hit it. That's when I noticed it. And I tried to take a picture of it so many times. I consider it one of my prize shots because it took me so long to get it just right. And it works. And I put the black background there, kept a little bit of this, but I just liked the lines of this. Oh, and this also is one with stairs with lines. I love the diagonals, and there were the steps of a beautiful cathedral in Costa Rica. And I had to bend down sort of to get this view, but I really liked it. Oh, and this is another. I was in Costa Rica, and it just poured. It poured and it poured. It rained, and I don't know how long it rained. So I was under this top here, and I wanted to get the rain, and I said, actually, this picture, I finally got it, because you see, here's the rain. These are raindrops coming down. Oh, and this birds, I have one bit of advice about bird shooting, bird picture shooting. Um, don't follow the birds. Let them come to you. Another photographer told me, always shoot, always look for the eyes, get the eyes. And also, do not shoot the backside. You get the bird from the front. But this one, I saw the birds, and I just put my camera on burst, and by accident, I got this wonderful shot. And when you get a bird, you know, with its wings out or doing something like catching a fish in its mouth, that is definitely a one of a kind shot. Another bird picture. This was a planned flight. This was in Costa Rica at a farm which started off by feeding birds that escaped from their owners and didn't have any place to go, nobody to feed them. And what they did, they had a lot of tourists coming there. They would call the birds at a certain time of day. And there was a long field where the birds would come, and there was food at the other end. I saw the bird coming, and I pointed my camera at the bird, and I saw the bird coming right toward me, and I just lifted it up a little bit, and I pushed the shutter, and I burst of and this is what I got. This little deer was a newborn deer born in my backyard, or my yard. And I was out taking pictures, and I looked up and I couldn't believe my eyes, but I saw this tiny little animal, and he was trying to stand up, and it dawned on me that this is a newborn animal. The mother must have left him here because she thought it was a safe place for him to stay. But I got him. I got it, and I got all his fur. It was just adorable. But he did have his eye open. I got his eye. Oh, these are of wild ponies of Chincoteague Island. Chincoteague is an island where a couple of hundred years ago, these ponies came there because of Spanish, probably because of a Spanish shipwreck. They're from Spain. And they lived on this island to this day. It's a national park. It's a national preserve. And no one can feed these animals. You're not supposed to touch them or disturb them in any way or feed them. You cannot feed them. And we were allowed to walk, and I wasn't this close. I was using a longer lens here. I used a long lens, but I thought it was a nice mother and child. And this was this was the Union Guardian building in downtown Detroit. I had been to this building many times, and I love the architecture. It's just gorgeous. And I wasn't able to take a picture, but I finally learned how to set my picture so I could get all the, I even got the starburst, but it was a magnificent. and I got the people in the hallway. So I got this in the foreground, and so this was my prize picture from, and here's a still life that I took in my own home. I just happened to see these three fruits, and I just liked the red, yellow, green stoplight colors, and it just, and with the stickers. That was a difference from the classical artists. This was also right from my turkey, right from my oven. I happened to see it, and there was a red oven mitt lying by. I thought, yes, that would make a great picture. So that's what I did. I just put it all together. Oh, this is my self-portrait. I happened to have a mirror in my kitchen. I happened to notice that I could see my face from far away. So I tried to get this shot because we were doing self-portraits. And I thought, wow, this is great, but I couldn't get my head in the mirror. I tried and I tried. I finally just stood on tiptoes. I used a tripod, everything I could think of, and I finally got one picture with my face in it. But it shows, all my hats that I love, and my newspaper here, and I have my walking stick, and it shows, this is a name tag from, it's one of my favorites. This was taken late in the day, believe it or not. This was taken after sunset, the last rays of light. I was walking down the sidewalk, which was black, dark, and I saw the ice cubes lit up. Somebody just threw out a cup of ice. This is the same place, but there were feathers on the pavement, and that was it. And after a second after I took the picture, it was gone. It was all dark. This one was taken, the light, it was noon. And again, I got my starburst that I was so thrilled with. But I also got this beautiful car with the reflection of the sky and all the lines of the car. And again, I sort of tilted it so you have that angular look, and it's sort of framed by these diagonal lines down here. This picks up the yellow of the license plate. This was also indoors, and I made it black and white because it was just too complicated with the colors. And I was just fascinated with the light on this, just the way all the circulars and the semicircles and everything all together. But when you put it all together, you have all these round lines, and there's even some this is interesting too. So your eye goes all the way around. This was for macro photography. I had a close-up lens, and I was just looking through a drawer, and I had some interesting objects in it, and I found this light bulb. And when I looked at it through my macro lens, I found that I could see all the wires inside, and it was very interesting. I mean, nobody, you could never, I would never know that. It was a very tiny light bulb. And then with the parallel diagonals of the table, it seemed to make a good background for it. This was another picture I took in my own home. You wouldn't believe what this was. We were taking self-portraits, and I happened to be walking by an air fryer that I had on my kitchen counter. And I happened to see my reflection in it. As I made it, I think it was a sepia. And then I made it with this fuzzy outline. That was all done in post-editing. Oh, this was a nighttime picture I did with the photo club. This is light painting, where we were holding objects that lit up. I think I was just holding a stack of, I don't know, light sticks, I think it was. I was moving all around, but I had the idea to move up and down, and this is what I got. I had no idea I was going to get this, but yeah, it was just, this is it. This is light painting. Oh, this is a picture I took. This is a sunset, believe it or not. I was on the top of a bridge. You can see the cables, and these are cables of the bridge. And it was right at sunset, and the last rays of the sun were hitting these things right here, these posts. And if you, a second later, it was gone. It was, I mean, and it would be nothing, but they were brilliantly lit up. Same thing. This is another view from the same place. They were a different, I don't know what color they were, but the sun made them like this. And this is like an angle, diagonals, parallel diagonals. And this is another one. This is abstract. But this is what the ripples of the sunlight, the sun's rays on the top of the water. And this is the end of the road. This is taken also at sunset. The sun was over here on this side. And I happened to turn after the sunset pictures, and I saw that it was lit up all along here. So that's all, folks. Here I am back. This is in downtown Detroit with my friend Linda. I hope you enjoyed my pictures. I certainly enjoyed taking them and showing them to you. Have fun. Have fun taking your own pictures. That's the main thing. Enjoy what you're doing. Bye.